Hello everyone, this is Scarzig, and welcome to my Shim'Zar set review for the neutral faction. We'll go ahead and consider this video part 1, just because neutral creatures are going to be the ones that have access to everybody. Watch this one first, and then go ahead and move on to your favorite faction, or the other factions that you care to know about. I'll have the entire set broken down faction by faction for your viewing pleasure. So to get things underway, let's take a look at Golden Mantella. Now, this minion is a 3-mana 4/2 with the opening gambit. Put a random battle pet into your action bar. Now, the stat line you can see is actually very aggressive. This is not meant to stick around. It's meant to trade into something, or if your opponent isn't going to have anything developed at that particular point in time, they're going to have to take 4 damage to the face. This is exactly like Void Hunter, except the card that it gives you is going to be right away, and it's drawn from a set pool. It's not drawing a card from your deck, unfortunately, but sometimes getting that card immediately can be very important. This card is really only going to be seeing play in the most dedicated of battle pet based decks, and it'll be a decent pickup for the gauntlet. I wanted to go over Golden Mantella first because I wanted to clarify that because in this set there's a lot of cards that have the random battle pet effect as part of their text, and what that means is random battle pet is going to be your faction that you're playing's battle pets. Every faction had 2 of them this expansion, and as well as 6 token battle pets that are only available through cards like this with this effect. And those 6 token battle pets include a vanilla 3/3. They all cost 1 mana, by the way. It's a vanilla 3/3, a 4/4 that can't move, a 1/1 with force field, a 1/1 that when it dies draws a random battle pet to your action bar, a 2/5 with celerity, and a 2/3 flying battle pet, if I'm not mistaken. And those are the types of effects you're going to be getting. Unfortunately, because they're tokens at this particular point in time, I do not have images for them, but maybe we can leave that a bit discoverable for you guys, and you'll be able to see them if you play this or any of the multitude of cards in game that are going to give you those random battle pets. So moving on, we have Yun, which is a neutral battle pet. A 3-mana 5/4 is an excellent stat line. Even though you're not able to control this thing, just the fact that it's going to trade up into at least 2 things. It's going to kill something, and your opponent's going to have to deal with it. So if they decide that they need to take it out with the general, that's 5 damage that they're taking. This is going to be great for battle pet based decks, and might end up being really good filler for aggressive decks. So overall, Yun is really solid, especially if you're playing effects that are going to be summoning random battle pets and things like that. Then Yun might be a good pickup. Amu is another battle pet, a 2-mana 3/3, and that's really decent for its cost, but a lot of factions have battle pets with this same stat line that have effects that are going to be useful for whatever deck that you built around them. So this is just a general neutral pickup, okay stat line. It'll be decent, if you happen to summon one, but not really that great. Beastmaster is a 5-mana 2/5 with Frenzy and Celerity. This card doesn't seem too great on the surface, but because it only has 2 attack, you're actually able to use Inner Focus on it. So this might be picked up for a mid-game Song High board clear. It's not as crazy as Old Lantern Fox, and Dagger Kiri kind of does the same thing, and it's stickier because it has 8 HP. But Beastmaster being able to come out of hand and just clear your opponent's board might be exactly what you're looking for if you aren't using it as a big finisher, but again, just something to get some AoE damage down onto your opponent. So time will tell if this sees a lot of play, but I know that there's a few players that I've spoken to that are looking forward to experimenting with this in Songhai, myself included. So here we have Calculator. It's a 5-mana 1/1 with the opening gambit. Gain the combined attack and health of all battle pets in your action bar. I was actually thinking about running something like this in Kara, where you're just going to be buffing the stats of the battle pets in your action bar, and then Calculator is just going to drop onto the field and have crazy amounts of stats. But they actually nerfed Spirit of the Wild up to 5 mana, and I'll talk about that a little bit later in the Vanar video, which makes that combo impossible. So I was really disappointed. You have to jump through a couple extra hoops to get that to work, but Calculator is not going to be seeing a lot of play outside unless it's like in strict battle pet based decks, and even then it's not really worth it because it's like the high hand where it comes down and it's just a fat body, but if it gets dispelled then it just becomes a 1/1, so the risk of it basically being useless is too high. So Calculator's a really cool concept. I really like the art, but the effect is not good enough. We have Nasher here, which I was theory crafting around a little bit as well, because it's a 4-mana 3/3 with a Dying Wish. Deal 3 damage to all enemies around it. Now this, it's going to be pretty difficult for this minion to, it's a bit like Earth's Sister, where your opponent is going to spread out their units and play around it when they kill it on their turn. So I think the key would be to play Nasher defensively, and then that way you're sort of able to threaten your opponent with that AoE if they position their units poorly. You can also summon this in such a way as to take advantage of Battle Pet AI. The Battle Pets are going to move and attack first before your opponent has any time to do anything. So playing the Nasher in just the right spot might cause the Battle Pet to trigger that and just completely wreck all of their units. This is also probably another interesting pickup for Songhai because you can hit it with Inner Focus and maybe trade into something really big. You know, it'll deal 6 damage to whatever it trades into and then 3 damage in AoE, and then that gives Songhai more board control AoE. So that's a couple of the ideas I had for this card. Overall, it's pretty solid for such a strong effect. Like, it's a bomb. Great pickup for Gauntlet especially. We have Zhukov, which is pretty cheeky. When I was seeing all the battle pets and stuff and people were talking about their effects, I theorized that it would be cool if there was an effect that could let you take control of your battle pets, and this is it. It's a 3-mana 3/4, which is actually a really decent stat line because the average for 3 mana right now is like a 3-mana 3/3 is the general established acceptable stats for the 3-mana minions, and they all have like decent effects, you know, Venom Toth, Silvertongue Corsair, etc., etc., etc. And so a 3-mana 3/4 is pretty decent because the difference between 3 HP and 4 HP is pretty significant, because a 4 HP minion is going to be able to survive Dancing Blades, Phoenix Fire, Saberspine Tiger. So Zhukov's actually got a pretty decent stat line, and this is going to be a huge help to battle pet based decks. I could see something like this coming down where, you know, you have, because there's a lot of effects in the game right now because of Shim'Zar's release that spawn random battle pets, and you can just spam the board with them because they're undercosted, and then all of a sudden you're able to move and direct them as you please. Then suddenly you're getting like this really good Swarm and Zoo archetype support with this card. And the art and animation was actually revealed a long time ago, so really good effect, really good cost. It's designed for battle pet centric decks, so it's not going to be seeing a lot of play, but it is extremely strong for those types of decks, and I'm hoping that this gives them enough to see play. Drax is another one, a 3-mana 3/3. This is the standard stat line that I was talking about. And whenever a friendly battle pet dies, draw a card. So this is another huge pickup for swarmy battle pet based decks. This is just going to keep refueling your hand and really keep the party going to overrun your opponent. It's a legendary though. Zhukov and Drax are both legendaries, so it'll be a while before people, you know, get their collections in order and actually build that battle pet swarm deck. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. And moving on here, we've got Inquisitor Cron. This card was spoiled way early, and so people had a lot of time to theory craft and kind of guess about what kind of abilities it might have and how it's going to affect the metagame. And I just want to say that after seeing the entire set, Inquisitor Cron is still really, really strong, but in the only in the context of the existence of the core set by itself. With the existence of Shim'Zar, Inquisitor Cron seems to be a bit more balanced. I think that once everybody kind of gets all their testing and the meta settles a little bit after, Shim'Zar's been out for a little bit, Inquisitor Cron might slowly creep his way into the meta, because a 5-mana 4/6 provoke is pretty decent, but replacing a card to get a 2/2 with a random ability is actually pretty enormous. So a purely replace base deck with Aether Masters and White Widows and things like that might be a subtype, but Inquisitor Cron might be good enough to see play just because those 2/2s are really strong. And I did some testing before the servers crashed after the release, and I got a chance to take a look at what abilities the prisoners have. You can get a 2/2 with Force Field, a 2/2 with Provoke, a 2/2 with Frenzy, one with Flying, one with Rush. So all of those are really, really good effects. Getting a 4/6 and then replacing and then getting another 2/2, and they both have Provoke, is solid. The 2/2 Force Field is really godlike because you're getting it for free, essentially. And the 2/2 with Rush can let you get some really cheeky plays going. So Inquisitor Cron, I think, is going to see a lot of play, but not for a little bit. We need to wait for the meta to settle down just a bit, and then Inquisitor Cron, I think, is going to start creeping up into decks. We have Ion here, which is a ranged battle pet that deals double damage to generals. The thing about battle pets is they move and attack. That's what their AI is based on. There's subtleties to that movement, but they always move, then attack, unless they're right next to something that they're going to attack. And that includes ranged battle pets. So Ion is going to move before it attacks. It's a ranged pet that's going to slowly start moving towards the center of the enemies and everything while it's still hitting from a range. So after a couple turns, this thing is going to be right in the thick of things, which balances it quite well, because it dealing double damage to generals is actually pretty huge. If your opponent doesn't have anything on the board, then the Ion is just going to hit them in the face for 4 damage. And even if they're able to develop 1 or 2 things, because Ion has ranged, it's going to pick its target at random from range, and it's going to have, a 50% chance or a 33% chance of hitting the general's face. It's going to be like a White Widow, where you're going to get a little bit of variance with what it's going to hit. And, no matter what it hits, it's still pretty decent. And I could see some decks playing around with this, because if you have Ions, or 1 or 2 of them on the board, and then you drop Zhukov and you're able to control it, and you start directly attacking the general's face, and this is doing double damage stacked with buffs, I am looking forward to seeing what people come up with this pet. In its vanilla state, it's really bad because, like I said, it's a ranged unit that's moving towards the fight, but with some finagling, it'll be really, really strong. So we'll see. Koi is a 1-mana 3/1 that takes no damage from generals, but again, because it's a battle pet, it's going to be attacking whatever. So you're going to be getting that 50-50. Either it's just going to eat something, because 3 HP takes out most 2-drops in the game, most 3-drops as well. And then if it decides to hit the enemy general, then you're just getting extra value out of it. This will be really good in battle pet based decks, most likely, just because it has the, it has a chance to be stronger than normal. It's going to kill something or just get extra value for you. Not going to be great in standard decks. You need to have a battle pet based deck, in my opinion, to justify having, a body that's just going to trade into something and die, essentially, because battle pets are, you summon them, your opponent's going to have a chance to move and play around them a little bit. So Koi's only going to get value if your opponent is in a situation where they can't play around it. So Koi, at the very least, is going to disrupt your opponent's positioning on their turn, but not, again, it's not good enough to see standard play. I'm glad that they're adding a lot of variety with battle pets. Now, Rawr, I really, really like this card. It's a 5-mana 3/7, and 7 HP is actually really, really high for this game at least. Whenever this minion takes damage, summon a random battle pet nearby. Now, as you can see, Rawr itself is a battle pet, so it's going to move and attack things according to its AI. And your opponent's battle pets might move and attack this thing according to their AI. But Rawr, because it has 7 HP, is going to summon a random battle pet. You're going to get maybe at least 2 of them, I would say, right? Because you summon it, if your opponent can't answer it back immediately, then, it'll proc something at least once, hopefully. That's the dream. But if this goes off multiple times, and you get like 2 or 3 battle pets, if your faction's battle pets are particularly good, like maybe Abyssian, they have really good battle pets, and then the token battle pets are all really decent, then you get like 2 or 3 of those, and this just generates you value. It's going to be as good as Inquisitor Cron maybe, but in battle pet based decks, it's going to be really huge, and it's just a solid pickup overall. I could maybe see somebody playing around with this in Magmar. You summon it with a Flash Reincarnation, you get a 3-mana 3/5 that also summons something when it comes into play, because it doesn't need to take damage from any particular effect, just damage in general. If your opponent's forced to remove this with Dancing Blades, Phoenix Fire, Cryogenesis, for extra burst damage to kill it off, it's going to leave behind a body, which is really fantastic. It's going to, if going undispelled, it'll of course develop at least 1 extra body for you. So pretty solid in my opinion. Silverbeak is a vanilla 6-mana 6/9. And, looking at the design, I was really surprised they didn't give this thing flying, but that would be really OP if they did. This is getting sort of close to Archon Spellbinder's stat line. This is just probably going to be a really solid pickup for gauntlet play, or, a budget option. A 6-mana 6/9 is decent. Storm Metal Golem is a 6-mana 8/8 if I'm remembering correctly, so this is just another vanilla neutral minion. Again, based probably specifically designed for gauntlet play. And I'm glad that they're releasing a couple cards that are going to be more useful for that format. Our next card we have is Soboro. And whenever this damages a neutral minion, destroy that minion. Now, a 3-mana 2/4. The 4 HP makes it a little bit sticky. The problem is, any neutral minion that's enough of a threat that you'd want to run this is going to be like really, really strong anyway. Like Dancing Blades one-shots this thing regardless. And so that's kind of nice. You can like zone your opponent with it, but it death touches neutral minions. So any of the neutral battle pets or the token battle pets that get spawned, Sobro will just eat them. So this is kind of like an anti-battle pet tech card, and Saberspine Tiger is going to die to this anyway because it has 2 attack. There's nothing like really huge and neutral that Sobro is going to be useful to actually take care of. It's just kind of there. This will be a decent pickup for Gauntlet, I think. But, this isn't going to take out Mechazor and any ranged units. If this is in range of, like, Cannon of Mechazor or something, it'll kill it anyway because they only have 2 HP. So this will get some cheeky value for you every once in a while, but this isn't going to be something that's going to shape the meta. It's just too slow. A 3-mana 2/4 with Death Touch to neutral minions is only going to come into play if you get another, like, Kara deck that's like heavily neutral minion focused, and even then it's probably not worth it to run this as just a tech card. We'll have to see how the meta develops, because if Sobro can get in there and kill an Inquisitor Cron, if you see that thing everywhere, then it might be an option, but it's just not good enough to really do what it wants to do. But I'm glad that they added this card to the game, because the existence of this effect at least adds like a safety lever. And next we have Soul. Excuse me. And its opening gambit is to activate a friendly battle pet. Battle pets activate, do their thing at the beginning of their turn. It's almost like their own phase before your turn starts, and you can't hit them with inner focus or anything to reactivate them. Soul is going to be the one that does that. It itself is a battle pet, which is, whatever. But the chance to be able to double dip on a Yun or a Rawr or something like that is going to be really good. This is a solid card to probably include it again in battle pet based decks. But I'm glad that they added it because, like I said, being able to double dip on your battle pets allows you to actually manipulate their AI favorably for yourself instead of just playing something that your opponent is going to have time to play around. You get to summon a battle pet and then activate it right away, or double dip on a battle pet that activated at the beginning of your turn. And lastly, we have Zor. This was spoiled as well. Dying Wish, put a random mech minion into your action bar. The thing about Zor is it's confirmed that this thing can draw you Mechazor itself. Mechazor, I believe, in its raw form costs 8 mana. And this thing can also draw you Alter Rex, which is the minion, if you'll recall, adds a Mechazor to your hand if you play it while Mechazor is on the board. So there's a bit of variance with this card where, it's not really going to be a good pickup for Mechazor decks, in my opinion, because those are already pretty efficient. This just completely adds to the pool of, just neutral battle pets. I guess you could get some use out of it if you don't quite have enough Mechazor pieces to make your mech deck consistent. Then this just sort of fills in. But, I mean, he's cool, he's really cute, and he looks ready to help you out and win some games. So that's it for the neutral cards. Thank you for stopping by for this first part of the Shim'Zar review. This video, again, I am considering part 1. Everybody wants to know about the neutral cards, so please continue from here to look at the video review for your favorite faction. We'll have the links in the description and on the side there for you to click on and move on to the next video. So I'll see you over there, and have a good one.